Hi, I'm Borkon. Glad to have you here. Welcome back. And I have completely lost control over the shulker boxes. I do not understand how people can live with chest monsters. Only these boxes here, and if you've been on the stream after the previous episode, you've already seen how much anxiety this is causing me. I have no idea where anything is. I'm trying to find one thing and I just keep opening the boxes. This shouldn't be there. Where is the black glass supposed to be? I have no idea. Maybe there is no box for black glass. Now I'm gonna randomly put this stuff here. Where is everything? It's maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think I am, or maybe I am, but not this way. I just cannot handle chest monsters. I might actually need to build a storage system here with proper multi-sorting or sorting or something like that before I do anything else. Well, of course not, because the first thing we need to do today is just the thing I mentioned in the previous episode. And it is to replace the master switch, or yeah, the master switch control lines with red carpets rather than black, so that we can have some control over which signals go where. I haven't really decided if I'm gonna use different colors for different farms. I probably will, because why not? And I will probably also obsess for hours about which color is the appropriate one for which farm. I'm pretty sure black isn't right for the iron farm. The iron farm probably needs, and yes, I have brought more wool here, and another chest monster building here. Gray, maybe? Do I have light gray? I don't. Maybe iron farm. Oh yes, I do have light gray. So iron farm should definitely be light gray. Yes, it's unnecessary obsession, but sometimes you just have to color code things correctly. But yeah, I'll do color coding. But first, before I continue that, we built this on the live stream after the previous episode, and it's an improvised slime farm. Because I want to have a sticky piston crafter there, and I want the slimes to come from a farm here. And it will be possible to enable it and then disable it. So when it is flooded, like this, nothing can spawn there. And when it's not flooded, if I just get away here for a little bit, there should be slimes. Yeah, we already have a slime. It's very fast for what it is. It's very simple, but we are low down. Nothing else spawns here. Well, when I'm standing here, things probably spawn over there, so I should probably stand over here. Things will spawn even when I'm standing in the AFK spot. Yes, I have measured it. The slime farm is gonna be providing slime balls only for the sticky piston crafter, which is the next thing we're gonna build, well, after I've done the color coding. So let's do the color coding first, and then let's build the sticky piston crafter. By the way, the sticky piston crafter was also designed on the stream because I thought I would improvise a sticky piston crafter, and then I realized that it's actually a little bit complicated. Not too bad, and the good thing about the sticky piston crafter is that it's the exact same crafter that can also be used for torches and a few other crafts as well. So it's a very useful machine. So let's color code this and build ourselves a sticky piston crafter next to this. And I'm not sure how many buildings I want to build, but I will probably enclose the piston and sticky piston crafter in one building, and then whatever is here. I marked observer and dispenser. Not sure if I want to have these two together. Should probably dropper and dispenser to get... This is incorrect. Like, this planning was wrong and it shouldn't have been done. Let's remove this as well. But yeah, I want to group up some of the autocrafters into more logical groups, and pistons and sticky pistons are definitely one logical group, so they will get their own building after I'm done with the sticky piston crafter. Let's build that now. Oh yeah, and much less chaos. Now I'm no longer panicking because of the crazy chest monster. And the various lines have been color-coded. To be honest, I really don't like this color, but we're sticking with it because this is the closest color we have to iron. Maybe white would have been better, but I don't think white would look good. So yeah, now Sticky piston crafter, let's build that thing now. The sticky piston crafter is done, and yeah, it's significantly smaller than this one. It's still not connected to the water stream. I still have not decided if I want to throw the slime balls into the main water stream and then have this one filter it out. Because I'm thinking that I might actually want to collect a few slime blocks as well. And then I will have another, well, auto-crafter, sure, but very simple one that will just eat the slime balls. Haven't decided that yet. And the other thing that I need to connect is the piston crafter to this hopper here. So this dropper, let's test that this works, because I have already filled it in, but I haven't tested it yet, but it should definitely work. Oh. That's interesting. Oh, it stopped probably because it ran out of pistons. Yes, it did run out of pistons. Let's do 2 more. So yeah, the cutoff on this machine is exactly like the other machines. If the comparator output drops below signal level 2, it stops exactly like it should be. It's perfect. And I did not forget to top up this composter to level 2 like I did with that machine, and I was very confused why it didn't work. But this one, yeah, everything is good. Oh, I definitely need to spawn proof this, because I can already see that this is spawnable, this is spawnable. We are in a slime chunk, so slimes could probably... I still don't understand how slimes could spawn on top of this machine, but they did, and I will have to do some spawn proofing here. And this should be the whole mechanism that we need to enable, well, to enable how to pull the items. I guess I can just do it from a dropper under that chest somehow. But yeah, this mechanism is very much simpler than that one. And I realized that I can actually request items from the farm, or in this case, the farm is the piston autocrafter. I can request them when the chest is completely empty, because the dropper down here will probably still be full when the chest runs dry, so that should be fine. I hope maybe it's not enough, but I think especially in this case, this should be definitely perfect. So right now this thing is telling us that the chest needs to be refilled, and as soon as the chest is completely full, that torch will turn off. And then when the comparator goes down to 0, so when the chest is completely empty, this thing will turn on again. This should definitely be enough for this use case. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do about these, but I might actually simplify them as well, now that I realized that we can just enable the farms when the chest is completely empty. That will actually shrink the machine a little bit, and that might be nice. Haven't decided yet, but yeah, so let's try to hook this one up. All right, and everything is connected and everything is color-coded, and the master switch is connected to the farm. To be super honest, I haven't really tested. Well, this is not very complicated thing, and it's very easy to test. I can just, remove the torch, and that thing starts auto-crafting, which was completely expected, and yeah, so this wasn't very hard. The thing that I am not 100% sure about, that I have tested just very lightly, is the mechanism that feeds the pistons from this chest, where they will be auto-crafted, into this thing. I just simply didn't have enough pistons to test this with, but I think it is fine. I double, triple checked, quadruple checked. I made sure that all the signals were correctly routed, and like this piston here is in a very awkward position, and yeah, there's many things going on here, but I think we're gonna be fine. Unfortunately, I'm not actually turning off the farm completely when this thing doesn't need any pistons, because I still want to be crafting pistons normally, right? So the way this farm is going to be enabled by this farm is that this farm is just going to suck out items from this chest and into this dropper and then send it up there. The problem is that what's going to end up happening is that all the pistons that this machine is crafting are going to end up in these hoppers and into this dropper, And they're gonna build up here a massive buffer before anything builds up in this chest. I'm not sure if I like it. It's not a big deal. I should probably route the signal from here to there to lock this hopper, and it could be done, but that's not our main goal for today. This was just a minor distraction in the beginning of the video, because today we're gonna be building something else and much more, well, maybe not complicated, but bigger and more important, and I think we're gonna be building it here. And you might wonder, what farm is so important that we're gonna be building today? Is it maybe cobblestone generator? Maybe a tree farm? Because that's what we need for the piston crafter, right? Yeah, but we need something else before we do that. We need this stuff. Oh yeah, TNT. Anyway, we need TNT, and the reason for that is that I realized that I have autocrafting on this server, and I have renewable sand, which means that rather than using TNT duping for my cobblestone generator and my tree farm, I can just craft the TNT. The witch farms, they do provide us with some gunpowder, but of course we're gonna definitely need more gunpowder, so we need a creeper farm. Yeah, my redstone factory is gonna make TNT, and to make TNT, it's gonna have a creeper farm and a renewable sand generator, because of course that's the obviously correct way of doing it. Maybe it's not, but I think it's fun, so that's why I'm gonna do that. So yeah, let's go design a creeper farm. I have deliberately not looked too much recently at other people's creeper farms. I understand the general principles, but I kind of want to figure something out on my own from, well, like from other people's research. Of course, I'm gonna do very little of my own research, but let's try to figure out a semi-efficient farm that we can use to get some gunpowder from creepers down here, because we are at very low Y level and everything is spawn-proof, so that definitely simplifies the problem. Let's go into creative and figure it out. So we are here in a creative world that I just created for this project, and it's old bedrock down to Y level 5, because that's the level where we're going to be building our creeper farm. So I'm hoping that the spawning platform can be at this level and that we can fit a looting system lower down, but that is a future problem. Let's start with the big issue, and that is, how do we scare the creepers out from the spawning platform into the killing platforms? And I think the standard way nowadays is to just do something like this. You get one of these and you get a cat. So let's build some rails, put a cat here, a minecart, and let's hope the cat doesn't escape. Oh yeah, we caught the cat, good. And remove the rails and make sure that the minecart is securely placed in here. Now it can't be pushed around by creepers, and this is quite important. So the idea here is that creepers are afraid of cats and will run away from cats. That's it. That's the whole idea. And I am not exactly sure about the range of how far this effect goes, but from what I've been reading, it should be 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This creeper should still be scared, and it is. I should probably be deleting them. So if we add a 7th block... yeah, the creeper isn't bothered. So now the question is, and this is always a problem in Minecraft, what kind of distance function is being used? Because you might be thinking that a distance is, well, 6 blocks would be around here because we would be drawing a circle. Well, not all the things in Minecraft work like that. Lots of things actually don't. For example, zombies and zombified piglins chasing turtle eggs work in a square. So this would be 6 blocks away. Let's see. Is the creeper afraid? No. He's moving towards the cat, actually. If I put the creeper here, that might... no... Okay, so is this a Manhattan distance or taxicab distance, as some people call it? So this would be definitely where the creeper is afraid. Yeah, it's running away. Good. But then if it was Manhattan distance, it wouldn't be scared if it was there. It is scared. Okay. So it is not scared here, so it's not that kind of distance, and it's not Manhattan distance, so it must be Euclidean distance, which means a circle. So let's build a circle. For this, I'm gonna use, yeah, I'm always using tools for helping me with these projects, because why wouldn't I? Let's turn on this. Shapes. Cylinder, add shape. It's probably in the right position. If not, we can figure it out. Enable it. Radius 6. Height a few blocks and shift it down a few blocks. Alright, and let's make the shapes visible. So this should be a 6-block shape that this thing has drawn, and I don't think it is correctly centered, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Strange. The creeper was afraid here. Yeah, definitely. That definitely looks like an afraid creeper. And if I put it here, it's not afraid. Okay, well, then we need to increase the radius, I guess. I will have to double check if I did something wrong, but basically now we need a circle that is 6 blocks wide, and I will just build it, and we can test when it's built. Alright, the circle is built according to the specification. Let me turn off that rendering because it's annoying, and if I place a creeper here, it's not bothered by the cat at all. It just runs away. Interesting, but here? Also not bothered by the cat, but here? Ah, okay, I understand. So these edge blocks, is it working exactly the same way here? Yeah, it probably just depends on where the cat is exactly. I will delete the outer layer of the circle and adjust it, because I don't want to take any chances. I think this will be the correct shape for the farm. Let me just verify this. If I configure this and smaller radius, yes. So this is radius 6, and now the creepers are afraid everywhere. Perfect. Let's get rid of them. All right. So the second question when building a farm is, how do we get all the mobs killed? And I was thinking doing something relatively simple. Soul sand here, and we'll get to why it's soul sand in a second. And then on top of the soul sand we will have wither roses. Because the wither roses will be killing the creepers fast enough. It's not entirely perfect, there are faster methods, but I want to use wither roses because, one, I can place them on soul sand blocks, and soul sand blocks are not exactly the same height as normal blocks, which means that a hopper under a soul sand block will be picking up all the loot here, so I don't need any complicated loot pickup system. I can just have hoppers under every single soul sand block. And the farm is going to be small enough that this doesn't really affect performance, so it simplifies that. So the fact that soul sand blocks are not full size and can have hoppers underneath placed eliminates magma blocks, because magma blocks probably kill the creepers faster, but unfortunately they would then have to have hopper minecarts underneath, and I don't want to play around with hopper minecarts here. And the other ways that are relatively common to kill things is fall damage, but I am building it this much over bedrock, so that is not an option. And another option that people very often use is campfires, or the new option in 1.16, which is soul campfires, which are amazingly good at killing mobs. But unfortunately, they give off a light level, and we need to have 0 light levels for the creepers to spawn the fastest. So this will be our killing method. Let me just place the hoppers underneath here, and let's test it out. Right, the hoppers are built, and the last thing we need is a bit of wool here. For those who are unaware of how this works, I'm using Carpet Mod to help design and debug farms. And it has an option called hopper counters, which means that every item I throw in here, so for example that was the magenta wool, I can just type counter and it said, oh, I caught 1 magenta wool. And it also has measurements per minute, per hour, etc. So you can see how well your farm performs. So let's see. Do the creepers run into the wither roses? They do, but they run away. Alright, yeah, we need a wall. Didn't think of that, but of course, obviously we do need a wall to prevent the creepers from running away. Alright, we have a wall, and now let's see if this thing works. If the creepers are more afraid of the cat than they are afraid of wither roses, and it appears that they are. This is looking good. they do seem to run around a little bit. They seem to follow me for some reason, even though I'm in creative. Yeah, all are dead and all our items should have been picked up. Yeah, 9 gunpowders, that seems about right. Alright, now the second mission here. And for this I will need to give myself the night vision effect because it's gonna get dark. And we're gonna build a roof on this because of course it needs to be dark in here because otherwise the creepers won't spawn when it's daytime. So let's build a roof. So we have a roof. I covered it with carpets just to prevent anything to spawn on top of the roof. And let's move away to allow the mobs to spawn because they don't spawn when we're too close. And I'm gonna use a feature of the Tweakaroo mod. There will be a lot of mod usage today. And it's free cam. It's like spectator mode, but you don't have to switch accounts. My head is still hovering over there like some creepy ghosts. And we can look what happens in here. Well, we obviously have a problem. The problem is that, well, zombies and skeletons spawn. So let's get rid of the zombies and the skeletons because they are preventing our creepers from spawning. This is completely packed, by the way. This is pretty cool. So we know that things are spawning in here, and the creepers that are spawning are already running into the wither roses. So this is already partially working, but it's of course not good enough. So let's prevent zombies and skeletons from spawning. And the way we prevent everything else from spawning is by placing trapdoors here. The trapdoors, if you look at how I am standing here, my head is kind of clipping into the trapdoor. It means that, well, I am a little bit too tall for this trapdoor. It's fine for players, but skeletons and zombies will not spawn here because they don't want to spawn somewhere where they have something in their head. So we're just going to cover the entire ceiling here with trapdoors to prevent them from spawning. So let's do that now. All right, the entire ceiling is covered. Let's get out of here. Move away a little bit, like the last time. Back into creative modes, and let's use our free cam to look what's happening in there. Now we're not getting any zombies or skeletons, but we still get spiders. So the next task is, of course, to get rid of the spiders. And spiders need a 3x3 area to spawn. So we can prevent spiders from spawning. Like you can see in this area, spiders could technically spawn. Right now they can't because of the carpets, but in this area a spider could spawn. But if we just have one carpet in the middle here, that prevents the spiders from spawning. Now, there is an optimal pattern that I found on Reddit just a few weeks ago that prevents spiders from spawning because someone actually treated this as a mathematical optimization problem. And the pattern is this. I'm trying to look at an image and place the carpets in the right positions. We have that one, that one, that one, that one. 2 down, 1 in the corner here. 2 blocks gap. 2 blocks gap, 1, 2, 3. And then 1 carpet here and 1 carpet here. This layout of carpets leaves us with the most spawning spaces for the creepers, so that's what we want to use. There will be a link in the description of this video to that post because it's quite interesting. It's not very complicated, as you can see. It's a very simple carpet layout, but the way this was achieved was quite interesting. So let's test our farm and make sure that no spiders are spawning. And I think I'm missing, yeah, I was missing a carpet here, right? Double checking the image, yes. Okay, so let's move away again. A bunch of blocks, doesn't really matter how far we are, as long as not too close and not too far. Back into creative, let's get our camera in there. And we're just getting creepers. So we have a basic, the most simplest prototype farm working, and we are now going to optimize it. But before we optimize it, we need to measure it. We need to measure it because I want to have a reference point for what performance it has now and how much we can improve it by doing various things. You can't know if your improvements are actually helping unless you actually measure things. So let's use the carpet mode again. Let's reset our counter first. Now the hopper counter is reset and it's gonna start counting from now. And now I'm gonna use the command tick warp for 72,000 ticks, which corresponds to 1 hour of real time. This speeds up the server that this is running on, which is by computer, but still. And we can look up there. We are now running at 300, 200 something TPS instead of the normal 20. So we are running about 15 times faster. So the whole hour that I'm simulating now is going to take us a few minutes. So let's wait those few minutes and see what results we get. And while this is running right now at full speed, as you can see, this is going really fast. I could already see a problem here, a huge one actually. So when the creepers die, sometimes they drop their loot, like here it dropped it on this carpet or on this concrete here. So we definitely need to replace these blocks with, I guess, soul sand with hoppers underneath, if the creepers can spawn on them. If they can't, then we'll have to figure out some other solution, but we will use the carpet mod in a second just to figure out if I can actually have soul sand. Alright, the time warp has completed. Let's see the counter. 1760 around. This is not the perfect science. I will write down 1750. I like to round these numbers down in all my farm designs, so I'm not lying too much, because it very much depends on luck how much you get. So okay, let's do that optimization that I was talking about. And now you will see something magic. I'm in creative and I can pass through walls. Another carpet mod feature. It just simplifies creative building. So I need to find out if creepers can spawn on soul sand. So there is another feature in the carpet mod that allows you to test what can spawn where. So if I place this pink carpet here, it tells me a lot of things, and among other things it says that yes, a creeper can spawn. The only thing that is green here is a creeper and bats. Unfortunately, we cannot do anything about bats, as far as I know, but we now know that creepers can spawn here. So I was thinking about exchanging this for soul sand, and let's see, can a creeper spawn on soul sand? They can. Perfect. So we're gonna replace all the edge blocks here with more soul sand and put hoppers underneath so we can pick up the loot. Alright, I placed the soul sand, I placed the hoppers underneath that soul sand. Let's move out back to the same spot. I like to stand in the same spot when I'm measuring farms. It's probably not necessary, but it makes me more confident in the results. So reset the counters and warp speed for the next round, and see you in a simulated hour. Well, I can see that it's working much better, but sometimes I can see that gunpowder gets stuck on top of this carpet, and it's because the carpet is too high. And I'm wondering, can't I just replace this carpet with a whole pillar? It will kind of prevent the creepers from running there, but I don't think it should matter. But that's why we're measuring and testing, because maybe I can just replace this with a pillar and that will improve the performance. Right now, nothing is dropping here. I started recording just as the last bits of gunpowder here despawned, but something is going on with this carpet. I don't like it. I'm gonna try to replace it with concrete pillars and see how the farm behaves then, and compare it of course with this one, which still hasn't finished. And there we caught it. Yes, the gunpowder definitely gets stuck here. I haven't seen any gunpowder get stuck there, even though there is a lot of creepers dying there, but here it definitely happens very often. Or maybe not very often, that I don't know, that's why we're measuring. So let's see, we are 57 minutes in, so we should be done in a few seconds. About now, perfect. And let's see what the counter says, but we already saw what the counter says. 2,500, so that's compared to 1,750 in the previous run. That is a big improvement. I very much like that improvement. Let's write it down, do the whole pillar thing that I was talking about, and let's see where we go from there. Pillars here, let's do the measurement. And it seems to be working. It doesn't really seem to prevent the creepers from even running into this wither rose sometimes, so I think we are good. I don't know if they're spawning on the soul sand, but it seems that they are. It's very hard to catch because they are moving way too fast when we are tick warping, but I think it's looking good. And I don't see any loose gunpowder anywhere on the floor, so I think we are picking up all the loot. And time is up. Let's see. 2,681, so that is definitely an improvement. Yes, this was a good addition. Now, next part is we need to probably deal with the roof. I don't like this roof, and the reason for that is that mob spawning depends on the block that is highest up in one column. So one column is like a column of blocks. It's quite complicated and I don't understand it fully, but the lower the highest block in a column is, the higher chance that things will be spawning there are. So that's why we want to build farms very low level. So I'm gonna replace this with slabs and we'll see if this changes anything. Alright, we have the slabs. Let's do the test again. And yes, repeating this over and over again so that we get correct results. Counter reset. Tick warp 72,000. See you in an hour. Alright, another hour has passed. Let's see the counters. 2,700, well, 2,800 basically. Yeah, it was an improvement. Not a massive one, but I didn't expect it to be spectacular, but it was definitely an improvement. Next step, a little bit of black magic. And the black magic people call pack spawning. So the way the mob spawning works, and you might even have noticed it in your world, is that they often spawn in groups. So the way the group spawns is that the game picks one location to spawn the first mob, then moves around a little bit, picks another location, moves around a little bit, picks another location, etc. Up to 4 times, I think, for creepers. Not sure, but I think it's 4. That means that even though something is not able to spawn on the first location where it tries, maybe the second mob in the pack can spawn because it ends up in the middle of the farm, or maybe the third or fourth. We might be lucky, we might be unlucky, and often it helps to place blocks at the level of the block where things are spawning, so that would be here, and a few blocks out, and I'm pretty sure that as many blocks as possible is best, but I'm just gonna do 5 for now, so that it just is, there's a platform here that is not spawnable, that is sticking out up to 5 blocks, and we'll see if that helps. I'm pretty sure it will, but of course we're gonna measure. Alright, let's see how much this helps. 4,262 gunpowder per hour. So this has really, really good effects. It has such a huge effect that I'm actually tempted. Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 more layers and see if that helps even more, because that would be, well, even better. Why not? It's such a simple farm that I can keep adding things to it and it shouldn't matter. 4,375, so it is an improvement, but not a huge one. I will probably not even go for that many layers because this is just too big. No, it's fine. Now we need the mechanism that will make this farm work the way I want it to work. And by the way, I want to say already right now that I am not going for the most efficient creeper farm. That is not what we're designing here today. The most efficient creeper farm will probably just get rid of the creepers as fast as possible from mobcap, and that will be probably with portals, or maybe by punching them really fast so they fly down and get killed as fast as possible. This does not do that. The goal here is completely different. This is, I just want to have a very good farm with a single cat that doesn't actually fill my mobcap. And I have been watching mobcap. I added it to my log up here. And it hovers around 15 creepers alive at the same time, which is perfect for me, which means that I could duplicate this farm at least 5 or 6 times, probably just 5, and we would just get the efficiency times 5. But that's not what I want. I just want a creeper farm that can keep up with a single sand generator to make TNT, and it's not going to be running all the time. And that's the next thing we're going to solve. We need to make this farm not run all the time, and I'm thinking it should be as simple as putting redstone lamps in the corners. I have not tested this, so let's hope that the light levels from these redstone lamps are gonna be good enough, and if they're not, we'll figure out something else, but I hope that this is the correct solution. And for this, we can use a feature of mini HUD, And I can enable a view of light levels. And yes, the light levels are perfect. It's 8 here, so nothing can spawn. It's 8 here, nothing can spawn. If I remove this lamp, oh yeah, the light levels go down, of course, even though daylight is coming in. And let me just disable the lamps just to make sure that nothing is leaking through them or something like that. But it doesn't seem like it does. Now all the lamps are disabled and the light levels are perfect, 0 everywhere. So this is gonna work. So our on-off switch for the creeper farm is just gonna be lighting up the area inside so that nothing spawns. And let's just make sure that actually nothing spawns, because that would be an unfortunate mistake if it did and I didn't understand some fundamental simple mechanics of mob farms. So move out to our spots and I can just look at mobcap. Yeah, nothing is spawning at all. 0 things. Perfect. And that actually also prevents the bats from spawning. That's nice. That's nice to know that we can prevent the bats from spawning in here as well when the farm is passive. So now I need to just rearrange some things so I can power these on and off at will without placing extra blocks up here on this layer, because that would probably make the rates worse. I don't want to make the rates worse. Oh, and I will have to redirect these hoppers so they're not going under here, because I will be probably powering this block and that would lock the hopper. Yeah, there are some rearrangements to do, but the farm in its basic form is working. And it's probably as simple as this. Let's just double check that everything is still okay. Nothing is spawning. And let's just do the last test run with the lights turned off to see that I didn't break anything while adding that mechanism. And this is the result for this test run. It's actually kind of slower. I'm not sure if placing the lamps that ruined it or if this was just a fluke. I'm actually more leaning towards this being a fluke. Or maybe that being, I don't know, maybe placing the redstone there actually did change some performance, or maybe I misaligned some hoppers. I'm gonna double check that. And I'm also, since this is now the final version of the farm, I think I'm going to run this for 10 hours just to make sure that nothing is weird, nothing is strange, and then we're gonna build it. And that was simple enough to build. Just copy the blueprint here. Place all the blocks, nothing interesting. I made a little cross as a decoration here, but this thing is not gonna get a building around it. Maybe it will get a building on the sides at most, but it would definitely affect rates if I put anything above it, so I'm not gonna do that. This building is gonna stay like this, and I don't think even it looks bad. It is already covered up. This platform maybe looks a little bit wonky. I might want to experiment with slabs or something else here. On the other hand, it's nice that it's covering up the sea lanterns, because yes, I have heard your comments. Quite a few people say that the sea lanterns are looking terrible, and yeah, I realize that. I understand that. I wasn't thinking about moire. I think that's how you pronounce it, patterns. So those kind of weird patterns that end up when you're trying to, oh, like you maybe see there if the compression didn't destroy it. It's patterns that appear when you have a regular pattern that is then filtered through another pattern. That would be the pixels on your screen or on my screen. Oh, that looks terrible. So yeah, I realize that the next floor I'm gonna build will be definitely designed to avoid this problem. There's not much I can do about it, other than fill the place with buildings, and yeah, that will hide them. And I'm liking this. This place is starting to look alive. But that will be everything for today, and the reason is not that I don't have more things that I need to do, and I have already prepared the TNT factory and the sand factory. The reason is that I have already edited the video until now, and it's already way too long, and I have noticed that many people don't want to watch long videos, so I should make them shorter, but I just can't stop talking. As another announcement here at the end, it is that I have decided to slow down this series to just 1 episode per week. And there are a couple of reasons for this. The biggest one is basically, this already happened last week if you haven't noticed. One of the reasons that I tried to finish this episode for last Friday, it felt like I was forcing myself, and I really want to not just throw out an episode just to have something out. I actually want to do some progress as something interesting that I want you guys to like to watch. For that reason, I skipped Friday and I'm doing this on Tuesday. And I'm gonna skip next Friday as well. And the second reason for this is because I want to push out more technical videos, and I can't do that if I'm doing Borkaland episodes twice a week. I just don't have time. For now, we're slowing down to once per week. And also on streams, there's other news here, because this is the third reason why I did this, and that is that I have started experimenting with very, very heavily modded Minecraft. And yeah, I love it. It's really fun. And you know how much I love this world and how much I like working on this world. And I still wanted to play modded at some point more than I wanted to do this, which is very weird, but it did happen. So I have to give in to that and do some experimenting. And for modded, I'm doing just a streaming only series. So I have a world that I'm only doing things on other than grinding. I do grinding off camera, but everything else I do on streams. I try to have the streams a little bit more often, mostly because I want to play in that world and it's quite fun. And the stream tonight, after this episode comes out, is gonna be from that world. It will be on twitch.tv/Borkon_live at 8 o'clock in the evening Central European Time, 7 o'clock in the evening UTC. I might start an hour earlier just because I want to, but I will definitely stream for 3 hours between 8 o'clock in the evening and 11 o'clock in the evening Central European Time. Maybe longer. Some of the streams I've done recently have been longer because they have been quite fun and my brain didn't fry as it normally does. So, we'll see. But that will be it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you during the streams, or in the next episode, or in the next technical video, or on Discord, or wherever we will see each other. Bye!